But let's get into the World Cup. And it was a fascinating final day. Australia making history. Simon Whitlock, Damon Heta winning the PDC World Cup for the first time for their country. How pivotal do you think this title could be for both Simon and Damon's careers going forward?
I think for Simon, it's an interesting one because he's 53 now. He's been in the PDC this spell anyway for 13 years. He's won on TV before. He's been a runner-up in TV finals before. So being in that position and winning on TV is something he's done before. So it's not necessarily, you can't assume necessarily, should I say, that it will have the same effect on him that it did for Johnny Clayton, who obviously won his first TV title and then catapulted onto a wonderful year last year. But it's a confidence thing. And you've seen from Simon in recent years, people go to write him off or say that, you know, maybe he's starting to look a little bit past his best. And then one result or one tournament goes his way. And then suddenly there's a really strong run of form. We saw it in 2020 when the COVID cases meant that he snuck into a couple of the majors and then had really good runs in those majors and suddenly looked galvanised, looked fresh, and then had a really strong period and kept his ranking quite healthy. So I think emotionally, psychologically, it will probably be a big boost for him. But I don't know how much more we're going to see him win on TV. This might be a last hurrah. You don't know. I think for Damon, it's a little bit different because he's been tremendous on the floor. He's won Pro Tours before, but on TV, you've always felt that he's never quite shown his best. There have been a couple of quarterfinals. I know he got one at the Grand Slam and in the UK Open, but I've always felt that on TV, we've never seen, certainly while he's been a tour card holder, we've never seen the absolute best of Damon Heta, but now he's gone up there and he's won a big trophy. And importantly, he hit the winning double to win that trophy as well. It wasn't that, you know, Simon won the deciding game or anything. He hit that double to win them the title. I think that will galvanise him. And I think at the next TV event, I think we're going to see a different Damon Heta and potentially one who's going to go quite deep and maybe even win something quite big.
Yeah, and I'll start off with Damon Heta. I spoke to him a few hours ago when we were recording this, and he was obviously in great spirits after the win at the weekend. And we'll come on to it in one of our listener questions later, that it is hard to believe that this is only his third year on the professional circuit, coming up to 3 years since he shocked the world, won that World Series in Brisbane and beat the likes of James Wade, Gary Anderson, Simon Whitlock, his future World Cup partner, Rob Crossett in the final, made the plunge, moved over to the UK. And this is really the first year we've seen Damon Heta have a full proper year on the professional circuit. 2020, we had the first 3 months. Then the pandemic hits. He moves back to Australia for a few months and comes back. 2021, that was a bit stop-start as well. This year, though, there's been plenty of darts. And we're seeing as well that he's someone that, a bit like Simon Whitlock, just loves playing darts. Tonight, he's playing in his local league in Ilkeston, I think, that he plays on a Tuesday night. So a couple of days after winning the biggest title of his career, he's playing darts at a local league. There's not many people that you could say at the highest level that would do that. And it just shows that the love for darts that he has. But yeah, I think you're right. We've not seen the best of him on TV yet. And he is someone that it looks like he is getting better and better with the more experience that he's getting on the stage. And particularly this year as well, the amount of semi-finals, quarterfinals that he's had on the European tour. And that's, I think, helped him as well. More of that stage time that he's not really had the last couple of years. So I think, yeah, winning the World Cup, he could be the one, I think, out of the two that maybe goes down that Johnny Clayton route after winning that title and starts to win more major titles. He looks like he has got the game to push on, and he's pushing towards the top 16. If he does go and win a major title, follow on from what Johnny Clayton did, he could be looking at the top 8 and maybe moving into that possibility of getting in the Premier League. So I think there's a lot of potential there with Damon Heta. And as you say, with Simon Whitlock, he is on the other side of his career, if you like. There's not many years left, you'd say, in his career at this top level, but he does keep proving people wrong, doesn't he? Just when it looks like he is going to keep that slide down the rankings, he does produce a result or two to keep him there. The World Cup, that's not going to go on his ranking, but getting to the final, that does put him in the Grand Slam, and that's an important event for him to qualify for because, as you say, 2020, it was the Simon Whitlock show, that the behind closed doors darts some of the games that he produced, and I remember that game that he had with Michael van Gerwen at the Grand Slam, the 21-8, he's winning that game 16-15, and he actually beat Michael in the World Match Play, the World Grand Prix, the Grand Slam that year. He had such a good year on the TV, but before this World Cup, he wasn't in the Grand Slam. At the moment, he's not in the World Match Play or the World Grand Prix, so getting in the Grand Slam, that could really help him going forward and could help him stay in the seeds for Ali Pali and maybe just stop that slide, because as things stand, it did look like he was going to drop out that top 32. And we've seen before, once players drop out the 32, it is hard to push themselves back into that. So, yeah, it's a massive title for Simon Whitlock, 10 years on after we saw him miss those match starts with all the other players in that final. So for him to get the title, I think it'll mean a lot to him. It'll mean a lot to Damon Heta as well. But I think as far as career-wise goes, I think it's a step in a big direction for Damon Heta on what he could go on to achieve later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think on the note of it meaning a lot to both of them, of course, last year at the World Cup, I know I remember contributing to the preview on your website, saying that, realistically, the emotional choice to win the World Cup last year, that the team everyone should have been rooting for, was Australia, because we'd only just lost Kyle Anderson, and you knew that Simon and Damon were playing with emotion and they're being driven by emotion. I think maybe last year there was maybe too much. There was too much of that. They wanted to win it for him and desire to achieve something and prove something because of the circumstances they were in. Whereas this year, they were a little bit more removed from Kyle's sad passing. And while they've obviously dedicated their win to him, and I know in the interviews they've done with the, online darts and others during the tournament, they were saying that, he's with us on the stage and we're dedicating everything we're doing to him. We're playing for him. But I think it was a lot less raw this time. So both of them were able to just go up there and play their best game. And then in the tight, crucial moments, they had that emotional kick to push them on. Whereas last year, I just think there was a bit too much expectation around them to achieve something quite big.